Porsche, I will not enlarge you. We are good to go.
Thank you.
Let's go. What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all tuned into Apartment 5B, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me. In effect, it's a packed house tonight. I miss y'all. I'm glad to chop it up with y'all. It's been a crazy week. Porsche, ladies first. How are you doing today, miss?
I'm good, Kill. How are you? How is everyone doing?
I am good to go. JR, the R&B soul music guru. What's going on?
What's up, people? How y'all? How's everybody?
It's good. All right. Vern out the ATL, the closer, mortgage extraordinaire. What's going on, man?
Man, I'm out here just trying to make it do what it do. Glad to be here.
I hear you, man. DJ Rec, the recruiter. That's the thing. We all need nicknames. Like, that's it. You the recruiter. You're the recruiter. Rec is the recruiter. So what's going on, Rec? What's going on out in Houston, man?
Couple hours from Friday, man. That's about it, bro. I'm trying to stay right.
I hear you. Eddie, what's going on out in LA, man? What's good with you?
Yo, man, I'm doing good, man. Trying to stay sane. But we here, man. I'm good.
We here. All right, I gotta shout out my man Frank on Twitter. He gave me the idea for this. He was like, Kill, what are remixes that didn't need to be remixed? And he kind of stumped me at first, and I was like, give me an example. Like, I don't even know. And I was like, you know what? That's good that I don't know offhand. That means I gotta do some digging to figure all this out. It was dope. I did an IG live with my man Steve from Morgan last week. We did a top 10 battle of our favorite hip hop remixes. So we're gonna be talking about everything. Porsche had the dope idea. We're gonna be talking about, what was the dope. Frank just joined in. Frank, True Morgan, good looking for the topic, good brother. We're gonna be talking about the songs that didn't need to be remixed. We're gonna be talking about songs that needed to be remixed, songs that we didn't like that needed to be remixed. We're gonna talk about who were the best remixes. Where did remixes even come from? I just woke up one day and LL Cool J had Jinglin' Babies remix out, and then just remixes spawned off from that. So where did they come from? So all that good stuff. Tell me this, Porsche. We're always gonna start ladies first. What is one of your songs that did not need to be remixed? Or you know what? You can give us all five because we are full house, so we'll just do all five. What are the 5 songs you had that didn't need to be remixed and why?
I don't have many for this particular one because I find that I like remixes personally for the most part. One that stands out for me, and it breaks my heart to say this, but Lost Boys' Renee didn't need to be remixed, and Pete Rock remixed that one. To me, that song is such a dope story. It's a classic track. Lost Boys is great. We know that. I like Lost Boys, I think, more than most people do. And I like more of their albums than I think most people do. So I'm a little bit biased with that. But yeah, I don't think Renee needed a remix. I have way more on my does need a remix list than the not. I also don't think Quiet Storm needed a remix either. Yeah, we were just talking about that. It was a topic. It was a thread on Twitter. Which songs do you like better? Whose verse do you like better on what song? And then I got to thinking, Quiet Storm didn't actually really need a remix. It was dope the way it was. And yeah, so those two are the ones that stand out for me the most.
Right. The funny thing with Quiet Storm, I heard what the rumor was is that it was originally for P's solo album, and that's why the original one is just all Prodigy. There's no Havoc.
Right.
But that the song blew up so big that that's why Havoc got on it, and that's why they just brought in Kim too to kind of make it a Mobb Deep song because it was like
I got a caveat for that, man. It was crazy because I got an early pressing of it, and I played it at a party real early, and people walked off the dance floor. I went back to that same college a month later, played the same record. They acted a fucking fool. It's crazy, man. My timing was off, man, with that record. I was on it early, but the rest of the world wasn't. And shit, man.
And it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because to me, a lot of that goes to show like who's ahead and who's allowing the radio to kind of lead them. Because Quiet. Once Kim jumped on it, then it just got all the. Then it just became the #1 song played on the radio. So it was kind of like, then after that, now it's the Get Hype song. Before it was the Clear the Whole Dance Floor song. So
clear the floor, man.
It's funny you said that. Eddie, what you got up for the joints that did not need to be remixed?
Did not need a remix. I had Quiet Storm on my list as well. But I got 5 more too. I got Can It Be So Simple. The funny thing about that one, since it wasn't...
That was on my list.
you know, it wasn't on the Wu-Tang album. It was on the Ray and Ghost, you know.
Right.
So, and you know, it just the beat sounded worse than the original. Whatever they were doing, I mean, like it didn't have the same energy. So I felt like it was unnecessary. The Get Money remix, I felt like that was unnecessary. I mean, it was cool. I get,
but again, but from your perspective, it's just that the original was.
From my perspective, the original was just so much doper. You know, I guess, you know, maybe that was all part of that whole thing with Tupac. You know, they use the same beat that he used, you know, for Hit 'Em Up or whatever. I can't remember which one came first, but yeah, there's that. Fuji La. I had like 3 remixes of Fuji La at the album. Completely unnecessary, man. Absolutely. I thought another one that was unnecessary was all like the 5 Touch It remixes. Like,
Yes.
They have the West Coast version, the Down South version, the Midwest. I mean, we get it, man. But I mean,
right. I forgot about that. I forgot it had like 20 remixes, man.
Yes.
Yo, the only good thing that come out of the Touch It remixes was Mary showing off her bars. Yes.
JR.
I don't even remember Mary. I think after the 18th remix, I tuned out.
It's not annoying.
I don't even know if I even knew Mary had any bars. What were you gonna say, Porsche?
I was gonna say, didn't Fiesta also have like 30 remixes?
Mm-hmm.
It did, but we can't talk about Candyman around here.
Like all of that is I just want to say that all of that is unnecessary.
Right. I just literally don't. I say it once and that's it.
Candyman's Fiesta is not necessary. That one also came to me.
And the last one I got, the last one I got was the 7th Chamber, and really the reason why was, you know, it was on 36 Chambers.
Wu Day was a remix to that.
Yeah, it was on the same album.
Oh shit! Let me pull that.
It was on 36 Chambers. There was a chamber.
It's one in the beginning
on
and
side
the
A
end.
and one on side B. And I felt like it was unnecessary because the album was so short as is.
Right.
That if you're gonna get basically the same song with a slightly different beat, you know, I felt like it was pointless.
Right. Right.
No new verses or anything. I mean, yeah.
That's true. That's true. All right, what you got up, Vern?
All right, I got more on this side than the other side. So, first one, I'm gonna say Paid in Full. I could done without the.
Oh God!
Y'all laughing, so y'all feel me.
Oh man!
Now these other ones I liked the remix, but the original was dope enough for me. Buddy by De La Soul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the album version, boom 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 boom. That's just smooth and dope. Flavor in your ear. Craig Mack killed the original. Now the remix is dope. Don't get me wrong, but it was cool as it was. Let me see. I'm gonna take that one off of there. A roller skating jam called Saturday. Try of course. Now the remix. I love the remix with Dress killed that mug, and they had the Woody Woodpecker. That mug was dope, but the original was dope. Bonita Applebum. Original is dope. Remix is dope. If we never heard the remix, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Which one we said that? Okay. Welcome to Atlanta.
30 remixes of that, yeah.
All right. Welcome to Atlanta. Not welcome to LA. Not welcome to Brooklyn. Not welcome to Cleveland. Welcome to Atlanta. Leave it be. Yeah. And I know I'm probably over 5, and I don't know if this is considered a remix, but the original Roxanne was cool. Not Roxanne psychiatrist, the barber, the dentist, you know, the pedicurist. No,
Yo, bro, you in rare form tonight, bro. You in rare form tonight.
I'm gonna stop right there.
You in rare form tonight. Yo, you ain't playing tonight. And the boy Frank said, what about Juicy? I'm with you on that. I really didn't enjoy the Juicy Pete Rock remix. To me, the Juicy OG one was fine. And again, from what I've always heard through times is that, of course, Puff heard Juicy playing out at the SP when he was in the Vernon, and he, gave it to the track man. So he kind of threw Pete the remix to kind of like, I guess, mend fences or, whatever like that. But yeah, it wasn't that. Rec, what about yours?
All right. So a remix I could have did without Nas's One Love, the LG joint, man, where my man is singing. Horrible remix. Added bass lines, horn stabs. In my opinion, a waste of studio time. We did not need a remix for One Love at all. To keep it in the QB, Mobb Deep, Survival of the Fittest. I think that remix should have been another song, maybe a B-side joint, or maybe something they threw on the soundtrack, because they were doing soundtracks heavy at that time, and that could have been on the soundtrack. Dope beat. They just didn't need a remix for Survival of the Fittest. This one is probably my all-time. KRS-One, Step Into a World with Puff. We did not need that fucking remix. Whoever paid KRS-One, Jesus. I wrote down worst remix ever. All right, Jadakiss, we gonna make it. They did not need to add Eve. I think that killed the chemistry between Jada and Styles. It was fine the way it was. Eve was not gonna bring anything added to that song. That song was a banger from the gate. Black Moon, who got the props? There's a remix where they changed the drums a little bit. The sample is still there, but they changed the drums, throw a horn stab in it. It lightens it up, and that song doesn't need to be light. It's heavy with those drums and heavy with that sample. Leave it where it was. Porsche, she hit the nail on the head. I got Renee. I wrote that down. But I'm talking about, I don't know if you're talking about the Don't Be a Menace soundtrack version. Are you talking about that one, Porsche?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And
hey,
then
right. Is Renee the one she wants to be a lawyer, so she studies law?
Yeah, facts.
Oh, okay. All right.
My last,
Vern, I hate you. Stop it.
my last one.
Yo, this dude must have sold like 20 houses today or something. I ain't never seen this dude. Like, you must have sold like 20 houses today, bro.
Hey, that's what's up. My last one, Ice Cube. Today was a good day. That Staples singers sample did not need to be used. You didn't need to remix that song. That's all I got for remixes that I did not like or we didn't need them.
All right, what about you, JR? What you got?
Okay, I did have the Renee remix. I had that one. I had Can It All Be So Simple, and I had, as R&B wise, I had Can't You See the So Def remix that he did with Keith Murray was not needed. That song sucks. Jermaine could have kept that somewhere, but he's a recycled dude anyway, so whatever. Another one, This Is How We Do It. The Puff remix sucked. Did not like it.
He has a remix for that?
Yeah, I was about to say there's a remix. This is how we do.
It's a remix, and Puff ain't do. They call it the Puff remix, but he doing nothing but talking on it.
Exactly.
And then it's a whole different stuff.
Any Puffy remix with him going this or this or this or whatever he does is just not needed. Thanks.
That little dance.
Yeah, or like this thing. Yeah, like we don't need it, Puff.
Harlem Shake.
Oh man.
Yo, here's the worst part. And I know the whole East Coast West Coast war started over this, but shit was kind of true. Like, nigga, if you don't want the executive all dancing in your videos, you know what I mean? It's like, when you think back at it, it's like, yeah, we really did need the executives all dancing in the videos. Like, but yeah. What else you got, JR?
And then I got one more, which I think everybody's going to bug out on me. And I know people go in on me when I say it on Twitter, but I am not a fan of the Right Here remix with SWV.
With
I'm not a fan of it at all. I love the original version. It's something about it that Brian Alexander Morgan did that I like, but the
Hold on, I'm confused. Which one? Because Rec, you saying Wu-Tang Clan? I thought that was the anything.
No. Right here was the Human Nature.
Oh, okay.
My
bad.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It seemed like it's something. It took something out of the original for me because I like the original. So
here's the wild part. Yeah. I'm sorry. Were you gonna say it?
I was saying the original had more energy.
Right.
The crazy thing is, and we'll talk about this, is that, well, I'll start in my list and I'll get to what I was just about to say. That you can have a remix that's played so much, you forget how dope the original one was. Like, I literally, when I think of Right Here, I don't even know what the original is anymore because all I've heard is the Human Nature, to the point I forgot it was a remix because I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Right. I don't even remember what the original one sounds like, which got me into the I Got You Open Black Moon remix. I know everybody loves that remix, but they were out here in DC probably about maybe 7-8 years ago for like a 20th anniversary Duck Down show. And they played the original. And I was like, yo, I forgot how crazy the original one was. The bass and that doo-doo-doo-doo, like it was shaking the walls. And I was like, yo, this is exactly why I like Black Moon, because it was that gritty, loud bass. Yeah, it's that stick-up kid. And then you put that Barry White sample on, and it's kind of like you said, JR, it just changed the whole energy of the original. Same thing with the Buck 'Em Down remix. I mean, I know they only added like a couple more interpretations from the Wind Parade that they sampled, but I was cool with the original Buck 'Em Down. I'm like, I think, Vern, you said it, Flavor in Your Ear. Yeah. I prefer the original. Like, I like Craig Mack on all three verses. You know, I love Biggie and all of that, but Flavor in Your Ear was perfect as is. This is the one that everybody bugs out on, but I got an explanation for this. They Can't Stop the Profit remix, the Pete Rock joint. I know most people like that better than the original, but to me, the original was more grimy to what he was talking about.
I'm with you.
Like, when I'm thinking about the stories that he's like telling with jealousy and envy, it feels like Primo made that specifically for that. Yep. And as Pete coming in to remix it, as a remixer, you're just trying to line up the tempos. You know what I mean? And I love the remix, but to me, I love the original better because it kind of fit with what he was doing. Now, this is going to be weird because I'm going to talk about this person as being one of my favorite remixers, but I've got 4 remixes that he did that I didn't need. The Das Effects Real Hip Hop joint. I actually like the Premiere one better than the Pete Rock one. Respiration, I prefer the High Tech original version than the Pete Rock remix. The Militia, I prefer the original Gangstar remix than the Pete Rock remix. And here's the other thing on this asterisk, Portia gonna hate me. Right around this time, I felt like Pete was sounding very Primo-ish. There was a little Primo.
No, ain't no little, he was.
There was some Primo in the water.
Yes.
Because I'll never forget, we was at the radio station and we played that, and they was like, yo, that's an Il Primo remix. I was like, nah, that's Pete Rock. You know what I mean? And if you listen to Priceless by All City, that's kind of Primo-ish. If you listen to Hold Me Down by Big L,
I got one for you.
I remember being in Harlem and I heard them play that, and I was like, ooh, Primo killed that. So then to find out Pete did it, I was like, oh. And then my last one is the Fakin' Jacks remix that Pete did. And again, I'm in no way saying these remixes aren't dope. They're all dope. I'm just saying that the original songs were dope enough, in my opinion, that they didn't need a remix from it. And then 2, I looked up what is a remix, because I was like, what exactly is a remix? And they said, and I don't know where this came from, but I think it makes sense. For us, a remix serves the purpose of taking the original mix in a different direction, reinterpreting the track in a different style. We commission remixes hoping that they will appeal to a different set of DJs who wouldn't necessarily play the original mix, and covering a different audience that way.
That makes sense because they swapped up a lot of hard driving stuff and glossed it over. So yeah, that makes
perfect sense.
So that was like the perfect definition. So, and I think that's probably coming from a standpoint of a record label. I think sometimes in the 90s we just got used to remixes, because to be honest, having Pete Rock remix Primo isn't going to take you in a different direction. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to appeal to a different DJ. It literally was just that. So tell me this, y'all. What Frank said, remix is mostly a new selling point. It's like, how can I, get more bang for our buck on the same song or whatever. And then also, usually when you pay someone to remix, it's a flat fee versus you paying the producer to start all over again, who's gonna want points and publishing and all that. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna pay you 10 G's, remix this. It's sad to say it's almost like a little money grab. And it's like, hey, let me just grab this 10 G's and bounce. Tell me this. We were talking about it earlier in no particular order. What is the first time you heard a remix? Porsche, you were saying you really don't remember. When's the first time you guys even heard a remix or of a remix?
I think sorry, mine would have to be Can It Be Also Simple, but I don't even think I realized it was even much of a remix because to me, like at the time, it was just part of the album. I think that would be the first one that I could probably say would be mine. I don't know.
All right. What were you gonna say, Ed?
Yeah, for me, even though I might have actually heard remixes before this one, but not realized it was a remix. But my first time hearing and being aware was the Scenario remix, because I had this single, and that remix on the other side, man, with Kid Hood and the whole different beat, whole different verses. It was crazy. So that was my first time.
What about you, JR?
That's mine. I was gonna say the Scenario because my mom and dad had a bet. My mom liked the original, my pops liked the remix. So they used to go back and forth of who liked what. And my mom loved the original. My pops was like, "Yo, the remix takes over the original version." So that was the first time I heard somebody actually call something a remix, and I was like, "All right, it got a whole different beat and all that." So,
all right. And what about you, Rhett?
I think for me, it would have either been I probably heard Bonita Applebum, the remix on the radio, but when I knew it was a remix was Can I Kick It? The video version is different than what's on the album. And me being a huge Tribe head at the time, I was like, oh shit. And I prefer the video remix version over the original. So
yeah, those baby Huey, baby Huey drums. To the point, like I like Can I Kick It? But I love the remix. I would never put the original Can I Kick It on a mix. It'll always be the original. The remix. What about you, Vern?
It's hard to say, but I guess the one that sticks out immediately is what I mentioned, the Paid in Full remix. Is the one that like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing now. And I kind of remember everything started to be R&B, and then I remember R&B started having to have a rap. Cause like I can't find Spread My Wings, the original. I want to bump that. I don't want to hear this dude rapping on a Troop song, man.
Right. That's why I'm laughing because he pulled Troop out.
Then you had Jody Wiley. I know Rakim is the God MC, but him, and then every R&B person had to put a rap dude on there, and it just started to be a lot. But the first time I guess I remember would be the Paid in Full.
Right. And for me, I want to say the first time was the LL's Jingling Baby remix. Because, I think Walking with a Panther was 89. He was kind of dead in the water. The original was cool, but that Molly Mall remix, and then when the video came out and the dancing and the same New York City and all of that, like it was like that. And then of course the big one for me was the Shut 'Em Down Pete Rock remix. Like, because I did not like the original Shut 'Em Down. The best
remix in hip hop history.
But when Pete came with that, I remember listening to the Walkman, going to school on the bus with just that playing over and over again, those horns, and it literally like breathed new life into Public Enemy. At that time, we were kind of dead in the water, and everything like that. So tell me this: what are some of the songs that needed to be remixed? You couldn't stand the original. It was like, come get this shit and remix it. Porsche, what you got?
Okay, with that definition, my very first one would be Still
Drake's whole career.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Drake's whole career.
In the trash.
Drake's whole career needs to be remixed.
I was just going to say Pete Rock needs to remix his entire career for me.
Here's the thing, Porsche, off topic of one question, and it's my fault. I'm bringing up Drake this time, y'all. It's not Porsche. Did you even hear the song that Primo did for him?
No, and I won't. Okay. And that was a conversation. Someone said, I think it was Easton out of England. He asked if your favorite producer or MC collabed with an MC that you don't like or an artist that you don't like, would you still listen to it? And I said, absolutely not. For the exact reason that Pete Rock or Primo, even Jay-Z did songs with Drake, and I absolutely have not heard them, and I have no interest in hearing them. So
if Pete Rock said right now on Twitter, I got 12 certified SP12 bangers with an album with Drake,
I'm not keeping it at all.
You are not.
No, not at all. Not even close.
She's consistent, man.
Wow.
Yeah. She across the board.
You guys know how much
I know you love Pete.
I just can't. I can't do it.
I understand.
She's gonna cop the instrumentals.
So yeah, there you go. So my very first one with Kill's definition was Still Not a Player. I did not at all like the original one. And I didn't realize I didn't like it until I heard the remix with Joe. And then I was like, oh my God, like I never want to hear the original again ever. And I don't think I ever did. So that one, You're All I Need, Method Man and Mary J. Now
here's the thing on this one. I'm so confused because certain songs got so many remixes.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even know what was the original. Is it that Razor Sharp? What is that a remix or was that the original?
That's the remix as well. The original was on the Tikal album.
Yes.
And it had like this kind of screaming voice on it.
Yeah. And there was like an electronic noise of some sort. It was really weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that one, You're All I Need, that remix with Mary J, like needed to happen. And
Which one?
The one,
Yeah.
the one that we all know. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, see,
But
see, I'm still stuck because there's a RZA
Like Sweet Morning Dew. I took one. Yeah, like the.
Okay, I like that one. Yeah.
But then there's the Puffy one too, right? There's the Puffy one and the RZA one. The RZA one is that.
Yeah, going with the bass
It's not going to be Puffy.
See,
Ever.
this is the problem.
It's not going to be Puffy.
This is the problem when songs got so many remixes. We like, well, what remix? The one that goes this way, or the one that goes that way, or the one that's like this?
Right.
Yeah. So that one. One More Chance remix. I love Big. You guys know how much I love Big, but that original, again, this was again like a Still Not a Player. I didn't realize that I didn't love the original until I heard the remix, and that one is just smooth.
Yeah.
It just caters to that R&B side, and it's not as abrasive as the original one. And I love it because it goes along with Big's like charisma, charm, that whole thing. So I just thought it fit, and I love it. And that's actually my favorite remix ever. Like in the whole wide world.
You know what, Port? I know I'm probably in minority. I love the abrasiveness on the original.
Me too.
He was just spitting, man. He was in the zone.
He's
on
spitting,
that.
but when you hear the original, it like almost, I don't know, you get wrapped up in it. It's like a weird sort of thing. I don't know. It's that.
And then that the bar sample on it too. Like I feel like that's underrated, man. Like the original came out, everyone loved, or the remix came out, everyone loved the remix. But I feel like the original is so underrated. Like it's so many elements to it.
I can see that it's underrated for sure. I just love, like, it catered to my wanting that like smooth and charm from Big, and that like, I don't know, it was like the ladies track, and I love it.
Here's the problem that we all got to remember. Portia's hip hop, but deep down in soul, she's just an R&B shorty. You know what I mean? She's an R&B shorty. Like we peel back everything. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Like deep down inside, she wants that smooth.
It's
Isley Brothers feel. That's it. You know, she puts on this facade on the timeline, but she done ran away shorty.
And then another one.
She is. You know,
because
you know, hey, like, I like that aggression. And Portia's like, hey, man, I just want to lay
time. Yeah.
Look at the curls, y'all. here. I just want to listen to some food shit, man.
Oh my god!
You know that original joint was the "Give Me the Loot" Biggie. That was the because remember we got two different Biggies on that album. You know, the Biggie that made Unbelievable isn't the "Give Me the Loot" Biggie. So that the original was like, I'm just Biggie from Bed-Stuy and I'm just robbing niggas, like
right,
straight up and down. But by that time, it was like
you had made a comment. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, you said that Buckshot was one of the only artists that we got to see record an album.
It's Buck and Biggie. It's Buck and Biggie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Buck and Biggie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because of course, hold that real quick. But I don't know where I read it. I read it somewhere. But they were saying how a lot of that album that I guess Big was originally signed to MCA.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he did that Dreams of an R&B chick, and a lot of those women, like Patti LaBelle was on MCA. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the original parts of Ready to Die were recorded even before Bad Boy was around.
Yep.
So that's why, like, if you listen to Give Me the Loot, even Everyday Struggle, like he's not rhyming the same way he is.
He's killing
by the time he gets to Unbelievable. You know? But it's almost like the dude who's nasty on the basketball court in Harlem, but he doesn't have the coup for the smoothness to make it to the NBA. Yeah. But then I felt like after Unbelievable, it was like, okay, Big now had kind of figured out his lane, his pocket, and then that's the Big that we got from that point on. So it's almost like, just what Big do you prefer? Like, you know, Eddie sounds like he prefers the "I want to rob you" Biggie. Portia's like, yo, no, nigga, I'm at the club. I don't want to get robbed. I just want to have a good time. You know, chill out. You know, so
lemon niggas like Shaquille.
Yeah, this is in your waist. Please don't shoot up the place, Daddy.
Yeah, that's how Portia is. Portia's like, don't shoot up the place.
Exactly.
You know. What else, Portia?
Okay, and then I've got the Jump Around remix, the Pete Rock remix. I love that one only because I feel like it's smoothed out and balanced more than the original was. Although I love Muggs's production. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan ever of this, but I like Jump Around, the original. It's okay, but then the remix is just great. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Pete Rock for that one. And then The Moon in the Sky, Sade and Jay-Z, that remix is amazing. I know I've mentioned this one time before and everyone was like, what? No, I don't know. I thought Jay and Sade together was just great.
What was the original on? I don't even remember The Sun and the Star.
That one, I don't know if it's on which one of her albums it's on.
But Soldier Love album or something?
Sorry?
Yeah, I would assume it had to be one of her latter albums.
Probably.
Yeah, probably Soldier Love. Yeah. Okay. I gotta check that remix. I never heard
that remix is really, really good. I like it. I love Sade. And then that Jay feature and that whole thing was just brilliant to me.
I gotta hear this because I'm a little scared now. I'm a little scared because when I hear Sade and Jay-Z, that's just like, again, Eddie Murphy Pop. Why the fuck are you hanging out with Danny Terrio? Like, why is Sade hanging out with Jay-Z? Now I know, of course, they probably weren't together, but that just I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this.
You can hear the disconnect there.
Right.
Like it's not seamless. Like you know for a fact that someone sent someone something.
Right.
But it's good. Never.
I gotta hear this.
I like
it. I gotta check this out.
I like it. So I'll keep my list at that. Although I have others if whatever.
All right. What about you, JR?
What do I have? Of course, I had the Marion Method joint. Actually, BBD is dope. I love the remix. I'm glad they did a remix for that because I do not like the album version at all.
Okay.
I know Kill. We gonna talk about this quick and then we gonna go. Leah's At Your Best remix. I like that better than the original version. That's just me.
Yeah. The one with this is for
no, I don't know. Yeah.
Because Candyman. I forgot Candyman. I'm sorry. That's the second time I can't say his name
no more. You can't say it no more.
I'm not. Nah, it's no more. We done.
Cool.
All right. Actually, I got two of Janice joints together again. I love that Primo did the remix for that.
Yeah.
And Janice All For You, I love he did the remix for that. Like
that All For You remix is rare and it's crazy.
Ain't it? And
It's crazy.
he talks about it. Like he bodied that, yo. I love that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was like, yo, they told Janet, let Premier do this again. He blessed you with Together again, so let him bless you with this. And he did. And
Yeah.
And you know what? JR's absolutely right, because if they remove the originals, no one would miss them because those remixes are so good.
Yeah, right.
You're absolutely right, JR. I agree.
Together again. I really don't. I love the remix to Primo did. And I'm going down with Mary. I don't like her version at all. I don't like the original. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm glad that they did a remix with Mr. Cheeks on it. So I was glad of that. I don't have ever hear Mary sing that song ever again, to be honest.
I'm laughing like this because coming from you, that's saying something.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't even. I don't like it.
That must be up there with that Popeye's chicken commercial she did, because you are really adamant about.
Okay, now, see, you took it somewhere.
I wasn't trying. I didn't know. I wasn't trying to take. You took it. You took it first.
No. It wasn't a chicken commercial.
It wasn't. Oh, it was Burger King. It was Burger King. It was Burger King.
It was Burger King.
What kind of food was it? I forgot.
It was a chicken sandwich or something. It was something crazy.
I hate you.
Hey, look, let's just say it was racist.
That song. That's why I'm so mad.
It was
racist.
racist.
Nobody can do, so she ain't with that dirt no more. So we good.
Yeah, it was racist. It was racist. And the commercial was bad. So
it was bad.
Hey man, she had to get some money.
I never spoke on it.
Yo, it's so funny when your favorite artist does something bad. You think if you just be quiet, nobody heard it. He's like, if I don't speak on it, if I don't say nothing, nobody heard it. Like, it did not exist. It never existed. Be still. Yo, bro, you think I'm lying, bro? You know how many times people walk into my teen center and I'll be just like this. Like, I'm like, maybe if I'm just really quiet and I don't move, people be like, killed. I'll just be like, I really honestly do that. I do that all the time. It's funny now because it's a joke. Because if they see me being still, they're like, just leave him alone. He ain't in the movie. Like, and literally, like, I'm just be still and pretend like they don't see me sitting right here. Oh God, bro, what you got for us?
All right, so only one of these meets the criteria that you said, killed, and the other ones I like, just like them better. I think even Black Sheep knew that they had to come on the same album with The Choice Is Yours. When you hear the revisited, they call it revisited, and you listen to the original. I never ever listen to that original. I'm gonna go All About the Benjamins, man. That remix is tough.
Which remix? You talking about the rock remix?
You talking about the Jamaican?
The original, because the original was just Puff and the Locks. Like that was on Clue tapes. So then when they added Kim and Biggie, that was like the remix.
When I think All About the Benjamins remix, I think about that horrible rock remix. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah. They filmed the video in the high school.
Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah. Right. I'm gonna go Nappy Heads by the Fugees. Yeah. You put the other one the same.
That did need a remix.
Yes. Now this one may not necessarily have needed a remix, but the Dolly My Baby with gravel voice, Mr. Combs.
Yo, you know what's funny? I had to go back, and when I was watching the videos, I was like, "Damn, that is Puff."
Like, man, sit down.
That is Puff. Shit.
I Got Your Open remix with the Barry White. Yeah. And two more. JR made me think of these. I just put these on the fly. That All Right Me remix with Heavy D, man, he killed that mug, boy.
Yeah, he did.
With Janet Jackson, All Right. And then BBD, you made me think of it. The Word to the Mother remix, I like that better than the original. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's me.
I forgot this on the R&B tip of songs that didn't need a remix. I did not like the No One Else remix with Kim and Foxy. I know it was like people loved it because it was Kim and Foxy together, but I just love the original.
JR had a conversation about that last week.
Better.
Yeah, we did.
Was that you guys? Were you guys talking about that on Twitter?
No, so my R&B for Friends mix this week is JR's mix. And we had a lengthy conversation about that shit.
Well, there was a huge Twitter thread about that too, about Kim and Foxy being on that joint together. That's why I thought it all kind of goes together.
Kill it, started, because you know how he
Someone
started.
mentioned it.
Would you say?
Yeah, what you talking about? Someone mentioned it.
What you gonna say, Joe?
No, I said you know how you start stuff on Twitter. You good for that.
I don't start anything.
Yeah, yes, we do.
No,
everybody can agree on here.
No. But I really,
in Kill's defense, he doesn't start it. He just doesn't end it. That's the only. Kill does not start anything. People poke him, and then he's like, "All right, fine," and then lays it out, and then it's just forever going and going.
And the wild part is that
he'll come out and be like, "I'm not talking about it anymore."
but the wild part is that when I think of the definition of starting something, is like, let me wake up this morning and start some shit.
Yeah, of course.
Like, my thing is just,
I'm
just telling people how I feel, and it may sound left or it may sound right, but you know that it's just that. Vern, when you was talking about the Fuji's remix, I just got this in the mail. It's about Rough House Records.
Okay.
So I want to dig into this because I feel like if that remix never happened, I don't think we get the score. We don't get, you know, so like literally like stuff like that. Like they owe, if I'm not mistaken, that was Salam Remy. Like they owed him like 10% of the rest of their life for that remix. Because if it wasn't for that, they were done in the water. And I haven't even started this book, but I'm probably positive, surely, that they talk about
that's the Rough House book.
Yeah, the Rough House. And for people watching, Rough House Records was originally home to Cypress Hill, Criss Cross, and the Fugees. They were based out of Philly. Joe the Butcher was like the #1 engineer, who was like a huge engineer back in the day. But yeah, so that's that. To me, the only songs that definitely needed a remix, Stress. Organized Confusion, Stress, the original. I hated that song. And I think Buck Wild did it. I don't care if whoever did it. I hated that. And then the video was just horrible. I was like, yo, this song is horrible. It looks like a bad horror movie. Yeah, like it's just bad. And then for Large Professor to come with that remix, that just made me just love it. Like it just brought, and it's weird because it kind of goes back to that original thing. It brought a whole new light to it. And it wasn't like a light like it was whack. Because I mean, he starts off with the SP12 on tap repeat coming in with the drums, and then you know Poe goes off with the verbal assault repping the grooves uncanny. Like
it was a good feel for that because I totally agree with you. That remix was probably one of the dopest remixes of the 90s.
Yeah. And then the other one was Shut 'Em Down. Like the original Shut 'Em Down didn't have any oomph to me. It was kind of flat. You know, by that time the industry had already moved on from the pro-black movement. And one thing I've always saluted Chuck for was that he stayed in his ground. He did not do no Tragedy Gaddafi and go from the intelligent hoodlum to Tragedy Gaddafi. Like Chuck D stayed the same. Like I'm gonna, go down with this ship, and he was going down with the ship. But,
down with it,
that Pete Rock remix just,
I missed that one.
Brought it all back to life. But those are like the only two that I could think of that I was like, these like need remixes are bad. And the other one I had that didn't need a remix, I forgot to say it, was the original It Ain't Hard to Tell. Like I loved the original It Ain't Hard to Tell. I love the one that Large Pro did with the Nas as the King of Discoing. But again, I was cool with the original, It Ain't Hard to Tell. Like it was just a certain vibe to it, and just the whole Human Nature before Teddy used the Human Nature for the SWV. I thought it was crazy. So tell me this, y'all. Who do y'all think?
Did Eddie say his?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry. It's all these jokes. It's too many jokes tonight. It's Vern's fault.
It's my fault.
Y'all covered a bunch of them, like from the Shut 'Em Down, Choice Is Yours, Nappy Heads remix, Stress remix. But I got 3 I don't think y'all mentioned yet. Shook Ones Part 2. That was absolutely necessary. Like there would be no as we know without that joint.
Yes.
For me,
question, Eddie, question. I agree wholeheartedly with you. What do you think would have happened? Do you think the Infamous would be looked at the same if we just got the original Shook Ones Like if you take Shook Ones 2 off the Infamous, you put the original Shook Ones on. It's crazy. There's so many people I know who have never even heard the original Shook Ones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But do you think that shifts the Infamous that much? Because I'm always intrigued by. Maybe we should say this for another show where it's like a song that makes that much of a difference. Like if we just put Shook Ones on the same Infamous, everything else is the same except that one thing. Do we still look at the Infamous as what we look at it as?
I don't think so, because I you know, that album is a classic because of all the joints that are on there, not just Shook Ones, but I don't think it gets the same amount of attention without Shook Ones. Like Shook Ones is the joint that, you know, got everyone's attention, but you still have Survival of the Fittest. You still have the joint with Nas and Ray, you know, you still had Give Up the Goods. So I feel like it will be a really dope album, but probably a slept on album without that joint.
True.
Right. And, I you know, recently, because it was the anniversary of the album, I saw a clip of Havoc talking about it, and basically he was like, you know, with what happened with Juvenile Hell, and when they presented the original Shook Ones was like the first song they presented for the new album, and you know the label wasn't feeling it, and he was like, here we go with that bullshit again. So he's like, all right, back to the drawing board. And, you know, created Shook Ones, you know, had the whole, you know, the lighting of the stove thing, you know, to kind of keep it in the projects. I mean,
the label just got iconic. It right.
What's up?
The label got it right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, agreed.
So does everybody else agree with that Infamous wouldn't be what it is without Shook Ones 2?
Yeah.
I mean, Shook Ones 2 is like a hip hop classic, like arguably top 25 songs in hip hop history. So
that's the only beat I'll compare to Troy. Like when I do, you know, like the which one do you like better? And like to my surprise, it's always very close. So I have to wholeheartedly agree with Eddie.
You see, I put it like this. Without it, I'm not sure if it's a good comparison, but without that, I think that Mobb Deep album kind of gets into the category of like the Black Moon. Like we all recognize that Black Moon entered the stage as a classic, but it was still so underground and under the radar. And Mobb Deep, the Infamous, you know, because of that Shook Ones Part 2, you know, reached other heights. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think, because I know they were on Loud, and Matty C used to be the A&R for Loud. I'm always just wondering, like you said, Vern, the record label got it right that time. I wonder, as the artist, do you now sit back and trust your record label a little bit more? Because are you able to be like, oh shit, we would have fucked up if we didn't do what Matty told us to do. So the next time Matty tells us to do something, maybe we should listen more, or because I feel like a lot of times, because y'all know, like how we were talking about before, I feel like the record companies always get the bad end of the stick. And they namely so. But the one great thing I did love about the 90s is the A&Rs that worked for these labels were hip-hop heads. So you had Matty C at the source. You had Mr. Dave at Payday Records. Like, you had Super Mario with Bad Boy. Like, so you had people who were hip-hop heads who were like, because that is crazy that if you take Shook Ones off, you're probably looking at, like you said, a Black Moon. Because I don't think, like, to me, that's Havoc's Big Joker. Like, you know, that's the... Nigga, I did Shook Ones, like, and then you like,
I mean,
true.
I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about that song. I mean, that's one of them songs, like you said, Troy. Matter of fact, Jazzy Jeff was mixing. I think I saw it on something on internet, and when they finally realized he was mixing and blended into the Shook One, I mean, the crowd just went insane, man. And that you don't get no other song on that album will do that for you. And Kill, just to your other point, I was watching Unsung today. Silk was on there. And the first album, Keith Sweat was very instrumental in it. And wrote everything, produced everything. And then the second one, oh man, we want to write for ourselves. We want to produce. We don't need you, Keith. Keith was like, man, let me do this second one. And then you can do the third one because, you know, you got to follow up. Nah. They didn't listen to him. and there it goes. So, you know, it ain't always the record label didn't know how to promote. No, a lot of times you didn't want to listen to what they had to say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then the other thing that give Harry props for Shook Ones, what he did to that original sample is crazy. So like that's one of the most intricate chop jobs like I've ever heard. So, but good point, Eddie, on that with the shook ones.
So I only got two more on this. Unless we're going into R&B, I got some in R&B. I wasn't sure if that was a separate category.
No. Spit it off. You got what you got.
So the two I got left for hip hop, I got the Loungin' remix, LL Cool J, the one with Toby. You know, because
the Who Do You Love joint?
I don't even remember the original Loungin'.
Me neither. Me neither.
Right. Yeah, me neither.
Who Do You Love joint? And then the Soul on Ice remix, Rick. The Soul on Ice remix. Diamond D did for Razkaz.
Yeah. Did Mara do the original?
I don't know, but the funny thing is, as much as people say, you know, that Soul on Ice album is a classic, but for me, it's like the Soul on Ice remix.
The remix
that's the version I always go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are some good picks, man. And it's sad about Razkaz. I feel like he was this great MC who just never got the great production. And to me, he's almost like the Grant Hill of hip hop, like that dude who like was supposed to be, you know, the West Coast Nas, y'all, and it's like, but just time after time and after time, and I think he was on the run for murder or something for a while, and then was locked up for a while, and you know, just that dude who had like was supposed to be the next, and just never really like got it popping like that.
So on the R&B tip, I got I had the I'm Going Down remix, the one that JR mentioned for sure. I had a No, the Destiny's Child joint on Wyclef.
Yeah.
I feel, and you know, y'all may feel different. I feel like that's the joint that kind of
it jumped them off.
Yeah.
Jumped them off, yeah.
It did.
You know, maybe
I agree here. But
I'm laughing because she started cracking up.
I don't think that was a good one at all.
Oh man.
Do you like this? Do you like Destiny's Child, Porsche?
They were very hit and miss. I like Destiny's Child better than I like independent Beyonce. Does that make sense? Like solo Beyonce. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
I got another one. It might be a little obscure, but Selena Johnson had a joint, Tonight I'm Gonna Let Go, and she had a remix with Busta Rhymes. Like that joint just.
Yeah, it's a banger. I got that on doubles. That was a banger. That was early in her career. I got that.
Yeah, that
was a low-key banger. That was a low-key banger. I got
it was.
What you got, Vern?
I forgot one more. That Joe Nail and Method Man remix.
Come on,
the round.
Oh yeah, round.
Yeah.
I hate that they played games with that, man. They should have.
Yes, yo.
That thing was crazy.
That's dope. Now on an R&B tip, my man Myron, he had the remix.
Hold up, man. I didn't say mine. If you gonna go to Myron, man, that's crazy.
I'm just
Thank you, Vern.
Now I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
All right. I got three quick ones.
JR, they kill me anytime I bring up Myron. I don't know, JR. Ask them. Ask the people that's around you.
The way he was pushing Myron first, we had never heard of him. It was like Kid was like, please listen to my demo. Please listen to my demo.
Oh, he was begging y'all. Okay.
It was hilarious.
First of all, no, JR, it was about the cover. First of all, they just kept going in on the way. That's all this is. That's all, JR. This is all this is. This, you know, this is JR. This is 1991. Me seeing DJ Quicks with a perm. And I just saw that nigga on a perm, and I said, I'm not listening to it. So I did it.
It was bad.
This is the most
it was bad.
obscure album
on the
face of this planet.
It was bad.
Like, gun blazing, and he's like, you guys gotta hear this Myron. And I'm like,
it was bad.
And then Kill on in the same breath will be like, I've never listened to a Tupac album in my life. And
here's the wild part. I've had this album since 97. I never realized how whack the cover is. Like, he damn near is about to put his feet up.
Yeah.
It's a bad cover.
It was
a bad cover, but
And then you pair that with his name, Myron, like, ain't a name that, you know what I mean?
JR, you gotta go back and watch
like
that.
now I want to keep my
I
regular.
have to. I gotta.
It was bad. I got
Yo,
three quick ones.
what you got, Brack?
So remixes, P Rock, Take You There. That remix was considerably better than the original. Queen Latifah, Wrath of My Madness. Primo remixed it. You will forget what the original sounds like. That
Who remixed this?
Primo.
Wrath of My Madness?
Queen Latifah.
I never heard that.
Fire. Fire. Fire.
Okay.
Probably one of, if you ask me, just probably one of his top 5 or top 10 remixes.
Nice.
Wow.
He totally took the song, rearranged it, and put it in Primo form.
Okay.
You will not remember what the original is, and that's hard because that song was a dope song. Somebody said the Janet joint, Lucy Pearl, Without You. Okay. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. Now tell me this, y'all. Who do y'all think, if you got an R&B, that's cool too, R&B, hip hop, who do you think is the best person, the best remixer out there? Now, Portia's already shaking her head. We already know where this is going. You know, this is what we talked about off camera. If people pay attention, we know where Portia's going. I already knew where Portia's going, so I got like my number 2. So, because I figure everybody gonna start saying Pete Rock. But who is the person who, like, when you would see that produced, remixed by this person, that you was just hyped to see? Porsche, for the hell of it, for shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's Pete Rock, but at the same time, like, I do have to say that DJ Premier is not someone to ever, like, this is why these two share the number 1 spot for me. Like, gun to my head, I mean, that's a different story. We had the producer bracket. We know where that went. But Pete Rock and DJ Premier, to me, like, wherever I can put them together, I'll put them together. They're equal. And I think even DJ Premier has some more experience working with outside of hip hop than Pete Rock does. So that also plays a little bit of a factor in being able to remix well as well. So for me, within hip hop, yes, Pete Rock without a shadow of a doubt. But overall, this is the same reason why Premier took it for me in the producer bracket, is because he's just got way more range. He just goes so far beyond hip hop and does it well, does it precisely, like, just nails it every single time. So yeah, both of them for me. Like, I'm gonna say on record, both.
We're gonna get to everybody, but here's a good question for you, Porsche, and I'm playing devil's advocate.
Great.
Primo has a larger range, but he always gives you Primo.
Right.
Do you look at that as a slight or not? Like, sometimes, like, when I look at, and I love the stuff he did for Christina Aguilera, but I also look at it like a lot of those same beats, NYGs could have been rhyming over. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's not like how when Dilla gave Erykah Badu, Didn't You Know? Like, that's not the average Dilla beat that Dilla would have gave to, you know, like, you're not giving that beat to Black Star. Like, it's like, oh, this is a beat for Erykah Badu, where Primo is just going to give you a Primo beat and you just sing over it. Like, do you think that's...
So I personally don't see it as a bad thing, only because I don't know if artists want, like, are they going to DJ Premier because they want the Primo beat and they want that signature sound, they want it to be recognizable? But you have to remember, Pete Rock and DJ Premier, in my opinion, are hip hop brands. Like, they're not just people, they're brands. So when you have something like a DJ Premier producing for you, and you don't even have to say it's DJ Premier, and you have all of these hip hop people recognize that it's DJ Premier, I mean, come on, that's never a bad thing, in my opinion. Other people may say, yeah, it's boring, it's monotonous, it gets old. That's definitely not me. I don't think that that's a bad thing.
It's weird because we used to have discussions up at 889, and it was like, I don't know if there's like a certain time period, but there was a time I remember we would love you hear the first 3 seconds of a beat and knowing it was Premier. It was like, oh, this is great. Then at a certain time, then it became bad. Like, I don't know if it was just over time, but then it would be like, this premiere again. Like, it almost went from, I don't know if it's like when you get married and you see your wife in the beginning, it's like, oh, and then by the 8th year, you're like, oh, here she comes.
Nah, man, I still 23 years. I'm like this.
Me too. Me too. Right. Me too, Vern. My pastor used to always say, if you just wink your eyes, she won't see you agreeing with me. But and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I don't know. I'm just saying for me, I don't know where it went from being a great thing to it being a boring thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it went from like, oh, here's a Premiere scratch, and now it's like, here's a Premiere scratch. Like, I don't know where or why.
I think they got kind of oversaturated. I mean, I love Pete and Premiere, but I think they were the hot du jour. Everybody wanted a remix bomb, and it's like, man, you kind of heard it too much.
Right. And it's funny because I almost could tell when the industry started getting tired of Premiere, when I started seeing things like produced by such and such, scratches by Premiere. Like, it's like, damn, you just called him to do the scratches. Yeah. Like, you didn't even get, you're like he did the scratches like for something on Kanye's album. One of the albums he did the scratching. I think on the third album he did the scratches. And
Everything I Am.
Yeah, Everything I Am. And it was just like, damn, you just called Premiere for scratches? That's it. Like, damn, man. Like, what the hell? Like, if Vern is the closer, I just thought, hey, Vern, can you give me the number of Home Depot? It's like, damn, nigga, like, you just called me not to sell your house. You just want the number of Home Depot? Like, damn. But nah, Porsche, I feel, for some reason with me, and I don't know if anybody, I don't know why, but it just got stale to me after a while. And in particular with Primo, because I feel like Pete has been able to get out of that monotonous. Like, I'm excited for like Retropolitan. It's like, yo, this is dope. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas if you told me Premiere, it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. So I think Pete has done a much better job of getting out of the regular, even the Pray for Paris with West Side Gun. Like, I saw an interview with West. He was like, yeah, the album was done. And then Primo sent me the beat. We did it in 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of sounds like y'all did it in 10 minutes. Like, it's like, I'm like, wow, like, this is Premiere now? Like I'm almost like how JR once said, groups don't need to make more music. You just need to tour. Like, and that's kind of how I feel like with Primo right now. I thought I would never say that. No disrespect, OG, if you watch him, but just being real. Like, I feel like, yo, just tour, do the radio. Like, but here's the hard part. Who's going to tell Primo he's not dope? You know what I mean? Because Primo could turn around and be like, yo, West Side Gun, the hottest rapper in the game. I'm on his album. Like, how can you tell? Like, when I didn't like, what was that? Yeezus, the Kanye Jay-Z album. What was that? Watch the Throne. I didn't like it. My peoples didn't like it, but they were like, yo, this nigga, they just did Niggas in Paris fucking encore 11 times in France. Like, how are you going to tell somebody who just did an encore 11 times in a row? Same thing with J. Cole. How you going to tell J. Cole you need to get better beats? It's like, nigga, I'm platinum with no guests. Like, and I do my own beats. Like, why on earth would I change? Like, so, that's the thing. But, so you've got Pete Rock as the best ever. Eddie, who do you have best remixer? Hands down. If it's Pete, give me like a 1B, because it's kind of like, I feel like everybody's going to say Pete. So kind of think of, is there anybody else who like we could give honorable mention to?
Because she mentioned Pete and Premiere, so I say my 1C would be Extra P.
Yes, thank you. I didn't want to talk so much, but yes, that would be my 1C too.
There you go. Yeah. And I think, Ed, we kind of touched on it last week, just about why Large Professor doesn't get the props that he deserves. And, we kind of came up with the fact that, Main Source only had one album. The great thing about Pete and Premiere is they both were part of two of hip-hop's biggest groups. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that just kept their name in the limelight of Pete Rock and CL Smooth and Gangstar, whereas after the one Main Source album, it kind of just, Large Pro just kind of disappeared for a while. And if you weren't a credit reader, you didn't realize, all the stuff that he was doing. But Large Pro is of course, it's Pete Rock, but my second was Large Pro. I mean, the Resurrection remix he did for Common, crazy. To me, made me forget all about the original. The Guy to Get Over remix for Gangstar, that's the one time that I'm like, I don't even like the original. Like he made me forget all about that. The Stress remix for Organized Confusion, the Ghetto remix for Eric B. and Rakim, which was the video version, the It's a Boy remix for Slick Rick, and It Ain't Hard to Tell remix for Nas, to me, will go down as one of the greatest hip-hop remixes. just based off the fact that I remember everybody sitting around wondering when did Bismarck say Nas is the king of disco, and we are racking our brains, and then somebody was just like, nah, he said Recognize is the king of disco, and it was just like, yo, this nigga took Nas off of Recognize. I was like, yo, I quit. I'm not smart enough to. That's one of those times where I like want to ask him, see, like, I just wanted to throw all my equipment away. Like, I give up. I'm never gonna be able to get my brain to ever think of something like that.
Right.
So yeah, Large Pro is my number 2. What about you, Rhett?
If we're going A, B, and C, so we don't steal each other's shit, I'll go with E. Sermon. E. Sermon had an extensive remix career, man. He was remixing shit for everybody you could think of from a standpoint of rap and R&B in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I'm going with E. Sermon.
All right, no doubt. Don't forget about Alfonso Hunter. I don't have the album on me, but it's not as. First of all, it doesn't sound as bad as Myron, so it's not the name.
I was
Okay.
as long as the album cover, he don't look like
Second
Myron.
of all, the cover, he's a dark-skinned nigga with a bald head in 1995, which was like gold at the time. So you can't say that. Eric Sermon produced like 60% of the album. It's a very dope album. Black of the Berry. Check it out, y'all. It's not Myron.
Kill taking payola, man.
Bird gonna come to the family reunion and be like, who that nigga was? That's Myron. That's why y'all talking about Myron. I knew that nigga was your cousin over there on the grill. What you got, Bird?
Man, y'all have named everybody. I'm gonna just throw out one that I like. A couple of remixes is Sadiq, man.
Oh yeah.
JR.
What
about you?
I was gonna say Sadiq. That's why.
Yeah, Sadiq. I mean, I don't know how he was able to transcend so many generations and not get tired. Like, I mean, It Never Rains came out when I was in 9th grade. I'm 46. Keep that in mind. And this nigga just dropped his last album, like, that I love. So, I mean, we're going from 14 to 46. And this man has, like, I don't think there's ever been a time when you could be like Sadiq had a dry spell. You know, like, he's always been dope.
Yeah.
The remix, I mean, the stuff he was doing, the production, like Erykah Badu's, Angie Stone, D'Angelo's Untitled, and Lady, like, I just don't know when he's ever had like a down time. And I don't know when there's been a producer where you could say for the past 14 to 46, 30 years, damn near, has never had a dry session or a dry spell. He's
a musician, man.
Period.
Kill, can you repost that up?
Yeah. I mean, but you're right. Like he's the musician, you know. But he is, you know what it is, but I also feel it's more than that because Questlove is a musician, and I wish he would just keep making cookbooks and just never produce again. You know what I mean? So, but wait, just wait before y'all take that as a shot. Just wait before I take that as a shot. I brought the cookbook, so don't get it twisted. I support. Don't get it twisted. I support.
He really got a cookbook.
Yeah, he got a cookbook. Basically, he had like a party, and it was like he invited people over and told them to bring their recipes. So it was like mixtapes and different people's recipes, so stuff like that. So before anybody takes it as a shot, I support the artist, but I also will say, like I always say with Black Thought solo album, keep this man far away from a Black Thought solo album. I don't want Quest to even have Thought's number. I want Thought to get his number changed for at least the 3 months he's working on this, and he can't find them or nothing, like, you know, and just let Thought do himself. Yes, sir.
Guess it's going to be like the Premiere thing, you know, not produced by Quest, but Quest on the drums.
Right. I apologize. I don't want anybody who can read music in studio sessions with if you can read a sheet music, bye, you got to go. This is strictly MPCs and drum machines in here. If you can play an instrument, you got to go. But what I was saying, Vern, is that, you know, Sadiq is it's the brain too, because Quest, you know, is a great musician and a band leader and all that. But I don't know how Sadiq just keeps his hand and his foot just on the pulse of music. You know, whether it's the stuff he's doing for Insecure, whether it's the stuff he's doing with Solange. He was the musical producer for that show Underground on UPN about slavery. Like, he just keeps his hand on the pulse, and I don't know how you do that for 30 years.
And what's crazy is you know, some of the solo albums, like he did a whole, what was it, like a whole 60s themed album.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
that's my favorite Sadiq album. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I don't know how he does it, but that's amazing. All right, y'all. So what is your favorite remix of all time? If there's we know Porsche's, but just for everybody out there again, Porsche, what is yours? Let's
One More Chance remix.
let's help some folk out. Okay. Everybody, Porsche's number one remix is One More Chance.
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have thought that.
I wouldn't have thought it either. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help people.
Oh yeah, message.
Favorite remix is One More Fucking Chance. Okay, y'all. It's like, yo, here's the answer to the test, y'all. Like, here.
I'm done.
Hey, Q, they be like, the answer is on page 15. What page is 15 on?
Right. Like, here's the answer, y'all. One More Chance, Biggie Smalls. That's the answer. Okay, cool. We got that. Greg, what's your number one remix, man?
Number one remix? Yeah.
Oh, your favorite remix. Just your favorite remix.
It's a tie, man. It's either that Wrath of My Madness or the Rhyme, Keith Murray.
Oh, that Dilla remix was nasty. God.
You
know what? That was something that needed a remix. That needed a good call on
yes,
that.
Yes.
Needed a remix.
That's on my list. I thought one of y'all was going to grab to
because
it.
The first one was so stale. It felt just like, how do I make another most beautifulest thing in the world? Like,
correct.
Okay, I sampled the Isley Brothers.
Like.
Okay, let me sample Frankie Beverly and Maze, and it just was stale until that Dilla. And it's wild because it said produced by the Uma. So for years, people thought Tip did it, but it was really Dilla who did that the Rhyme remix.
It was just, it's two extremes, and that's what I loved about it. Like you hear, like you said, it's one is stale, and then when you hear this, you're like, damn, because it sounded like nothing that was out at that time.
Right.
Like nothing, nobody was using those sounds, that drum pattern, that bass line. I love that shit, man.
All right. What about you, Ron?
Shut 'em Down remix.
Yeah, man. That put a lot of people out of business.
The drum.
My man said, "You pan mixing? Holy shit!"
Yeah. And what about you?
So yeah, man, the Shut 'Em Down. I got like a 1A 1B because I mentioned the Shut 'Em Down remix when we did the Pete Rock show. I think that's my favorite Pete Rock remix, and he's my favorite remixer. But you know, for the criteria, I gotta say probably the Choice Is Yours Revisited is like right up there with it.
Yes.
And you don't think of it a lot of times as a remix because it does say Choice Is Yours Remix. It says Revisited, but you know, to that criteria, that's right up there with it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. What about you, JR?
Mine is Lady remix with AZ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was especially the way he used that what was it, the Pro Call? Is that Pro Call something? I forgot his name. And he used that beat for it, I think. And then AZ came on and killed the remix. Killed the verse. Like, that's my favorite.
One of the few CD singles I actually searched the world to actually get was just, you know, the Lady remix, because that shit is crazy.
Yeah. Very unexpected remix too. That came out of left field for me.
And the video was dope too. The video was dope as hell too.
Sitting by the pool chilling.
Yeah. Real quick, just because I never said my favorite Pete Rock, he's my favorite remix of those. The Shut 'Em Down remix, the Lots of Lovin' remix, Jump Around remix, Jamal Fades Them All remix, and the Pass the Mic remix are probably my top 5 Pete Rock joints. Pass the Mic, just for the simple fact, nobody was paying any attention to the youngsters to me until that Pass the Mic remix came out. And that's money well invested, because at that time it was like, pay Pete whatever he wants, because it was like, it was gold. Like, it was whatever. And my favorite remix is probably Shut 'Em Down remix, just because it just brings back so many dope memories and everything like that. Got 2 more things. One, I have to give props to my sister right there, Porsche. Porsche is one of the few people, only 2 people have done this, her and Ev. They trick you into doing shit and admitting things you don't want to. One day, Ev called me about 4 years ago, and he said, "Kill, tell me this, man. I got a question. Why is Dilla so amazing to you?" And we talked. We sat on the phone for about 2.5, 3 hours. I'm just talking about Dilla. And then he ended the phone call with, "Why isn't he your number one?" And I was like, God, I guess he is. I guess. And then Ev just hung up on me. So the other week, we're going back and forth on the timeline about who invented the Transformer scratch.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And my man left-handed call. I'm on the phone with him for 2 hours arguing with him, and we're going back and forth and all this. I said, you know whose fault this is? It's the OG's fault, because this rumor has been floating around since 1987. Okay, since I was 13 years old. I'm 46, y'all. Jeff could have ended this shit 32 years ago. Yeah. He could have said, look, y'all, called up Lady B on Power 99, like, look, nigga, you know I invented that scratch. Bring your turntables up to the station and let's battle. And it would have been over. Mm-hmm. The problem is OGs don't want to say, oh, I did this, I did that. And I was telling Porsche, I said, see, here's the problem. You never had that problem with Pete, because Pete will let you know, no, nigga, I'm the one who invented filtering samples. Like, I did that shit. Yeah, you know, and even though the beat miners are more known for doing it, nobody has ever tried to discredit anything Pete said I invented. Pete was the one who invented the multi-pitch on the SP12 for echoing horns. Mm-hmm. Nobody was doing that before Pete. So after explaining to everybody on the timeline why more OGs need to be like Pete Rock and let niggas know what you did, I was like, shit. Should Pete move up based off of everything he
should always move up? If you ask yourself, should Pete move up?
And Pete moved from number 4 to number 3.
Yay, a victory.
And I felt bad. You know what you felt like back in the day when somebody be playing 3 Carl Monte? You feel like I just got again. Like how?
Not bubble.
I'm the red.
Right,
not the black. Not the black.
Right. Like I always was solidified with it's Primo, it's Dilla, it's Marley, it's Pete, it's RZA. I said this is never gonna change. And then Ev made me shift and bring Dilla to the front. Now Porsche got, and it's not just you, Porsche. It's also all these things against Marley. Like, it's too many cases against Marley right now, saying he didn't do no beats, and he's not defending himself either. And to me, that says something too, because I ain't gonna make Road to the Riches and then let some nigga come up. I don't care if it's 50 years later talking about I ain't do it. No, nigga, we gonna talk about that. So, but Pete has moved up. I want to salute that before we go. We have our first female verses coming up on Saturday. Yeah. Jill Scott versus Erykah Badu. I gotta ask again. Y'all know I don't believe these are battles, but who do you think if this was a battle? Who do you think is coming out on top of this? I know this comes as a preference most of the time. You know what I mean? But who do you think is gonna come out on top? JR, you are the resident R&B guru. Who do you think is gonna come out on top for this one?
Baduism.
Okay.
Erykah winning that. Erykah gonna win that for me.
And why? Because you said that with no hesitation.
No, no disrespect to Jill. You know what I'm saying?
It was disrespect. It was disrespect. It was disrespect because you didn't even say Erykah Badu. You just Badu isn't winning. Like you just went to a whole. You said it like it was an African nation. Like Haiti is gonna win today. Like you like Badu is a win. What are you talking about? Like Haiti wins. Like we won the war. So, but why? Why?
I think Erykah just got so many joints, yo. Like for real. I think she has more. I feel like because a lot of hip hop heads are watching this too. I think Erykah got a lot of joints that a lot of hip hop fans like more than Jill. You know what I'm saying? Jill really connects to a more of the R&B world, and that's kind of it. You know what I'm saying? Erykah kind of got a little bit more range than, you know what I'm saying, than Jill to me as far as songs. So if they do it right, then it could win. But Teddy did his wrong, and Babyface annihilated him. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might mess around, and Jill might have her list might be right. And Erykah's might be a little off. She might have played a song and then kind of mess up the mood. So you don't know. But if they do it right, Erykah can come out on top with this one.
All right. What about you, Vern?
I'm going Jill. And then I got a question for you, JR.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets the rights to You Got Me?
Ooh. Okay.
You know what?
Like Erykah, I like Jill's version better though. So I give it to her. I give it to Jill.
I think that the Erykah might zone out and trip out and do a Teddy Riley and if Jill would play the babyface role and be calm, I think that's how I think she would get her.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's a good point because they both could kind of. I would hit them with "You Got Me." Like if I was Jill, I would set it off with that.
That's what I was gonna say.
Throw out that big joker, yeah.
Right,
Throw
out the big joker from the door because a lot of people don't even know that she wrote it, and a lot of people don't know that there was a version with her on it. Like, I would just put that out.
It was on the they released it on that Homegrown compilation.
Right.
Yeah, so everyone who didn't hear it, heard it then.
I would put, but here's the problem, Eddie. So many people didn't hear that Homegrown. Again, you got all these thought swallowers out here who have never even brought "Do You Want More," let alone Homegrown. You know what I mean?
And that's sad.
Seriously. I mean, so that's the problem. So yeah, I would set that off with that. That's a good pick, Vern. I just open up with the big joker, like boom, and fuck up everybody because all the comments would be like, you ain't do this and you ain't do that and blah 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 blah. They'd be like, yeah, no, baby, I did. Like, I got the publishing checks, so trust me, I did. All right, you know what I mean? I make that my screensaver too. I put the check right up there.
Jill even came out and said she thinks she's gonna lose.
Oh, she said that?
Mm-hmm.
I can see why she says that though. Because
I don't like that. I don't like that at all because she's from Philly. I don't like that. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't say, oh, I might lose.
Kill man shit right
now. I will battle Knott's Premier and goddamn Pete Rock with my eyes closed, and I still ain't gonna say I'm gonna lose. I may feel I'm gonna lose, but you ain't gonna see me get on social media talking about, I'm gonna probably lose today.
Yeah,
we going down swinging. We going down swinging.
I hear you.
I'm shocked. I'm actually a little appalled. Like, what the hell, Jill? Like, what? I'm a little perturbed right now because your first single was talking. Because your first single was talking about going to a girl's house and whooping her. That's what your first single was talking about.
True.
Now you out here in 2020 talking about I might lose. Did you feel like you was gonna lose when you went to that girl's house? And now in 2001,
they doing it for fun. They doing it for fun.
You don't say
like a Tyler Perry character.
You don't. We don't know. We ain't doing no battling. We don't battle for fun. We don't battle for fun.
He drove all the way to Colorado, Eddie.
Now he would have had a problem if somebody else would have said that he from Philly getting his bag.
Oh God! Your first single can't be about whooping somebody, and then you talk about I'm about to lose. No,
a music battle is that deep.
Yeah,
it's a battle.
Yeah.
It's a battle.
Yeah.
Yo, what Slim Shaw say on the wire? I don't care if we fight
we stand on that line.
I don't care if it's about a lie that we fight on that line, but then we gotta fight. There's no we got to fight. We can't do. Why are you doing it if you think you're gonna lose? Like what the hell?
Ain't nobody got nothing to do. They in the house.
Man, I could be bored as fuck. I'm not gonna get on here like I'm gonna go battle Vern and I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna at least have some fun with it.
She said she was like, "Yo, I'm probably gonna lose," but she said she's still gonna do it though.
You might as well.
Now, if it would have been anybody, if Jill was from Philly, he wouldn't even mind. That's whack.
Exactly. If Joe was from Oklahoma, I'd be like, look at how them Oklahomians get down. I'm talking about you on the roof already. I'd be like, look at these jokers. This is why I don't live in Oklahoma, just because of shit like that. No. That's why I don't go to the Midwest. But she from North Philly? You from North Philly talking about you gonna lose? I'm on Erica's side. Now, I'm riding with Erica. What you got, Eddie?
I'm going with Erica. Not because of that. I mean, I think Jill is dope, but I think JR kind of touched on it. Erica kind of got more of the hip hop crowd, but I think, and he talked about her range. I think she got more recognizable songs as well. I mean, Jill Scott. I mean, for the R&B heads, like someone said on the timeline, like your auntie probably knows more Jill Scott songs, but so I guess it depends on the audience, but yeah. I feel like the audience of this kind of battle is going to be a younger demographic anyway.
Right.
Who you got, Porsche?
I've got Erykah Badu winning, and for the same reason that Eddie sort of touched on. I just think she has more memorable tracks, and yeah, I mean, That's Medusa. Come on, she's gonna, she's gonna, take it.
I said if I was Jill Scott, I'd wear sunglasses because I'm not looking in her eyes at all. So I'm wearing sunglasses.
I think it only works on men.
You know what?
In true Medusa form.
Here's the wild part. I'm not even gonna fuck around. I'm not even going to take that chance. Y'all saw Michael Jordan on The Last Dance when he did the interview with the shades on? Yeah. I'm going to have the shades on the whole damn time.
You know he was lying. What?
Yeah. I had them shades on the whole time. Gambling problem. I ain't got no gambling problem. That's why I got these goddamn glasses on. Right. I'm high out my mind right now, man. What's wrong with y'all?
Erica's going to play 20 songs we never heard before. Watch.
Erica's going to do some off-the-wall stuff. That's why I'm like, Jill, you might win, to be honest.
Yo.
Rack, what you got?
Mike Jordan talk about he ain't got no gambling problem, but he gambling, flipping coins on the wall with his bodyguards. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, you know what, Ed? It's all how you define a gambling problem. Somebody may say, I don't have a gambling problem if I can pay my debts.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
So that's how you defined it. Now, like you said, now you got a gambling problem when now I got to sell my TV and I got to sell my car. So that's his definition. But Rack, who you got in this battle?
All right, so I gotta put the disclaimer out there. I love Jill Scott. I don't think you understand. Like I love Jill Scott. Like, that was the microphone? Was it the microphone performance last year? I've loved Jill Scott for 20 plus years. That's my.
No, she did it.
That's my passion.
She's been doing that though. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I never saw the microphone technique before. I missed a couple of shows. I didn't see that. Because she knew goddamn well she was doing. Okay, she knew.
Especially in this age now.
She was about as extra with that.
Right. She knew.
I love Jill Scott. Love Jill Scott. But Badu, I think JR nailed it. She has a wider range and speaks to more people. She's of the culture, like truly. Not that Jill is not, but it's tangible with Badu. It's tangible with Badu. You feel that shit.
Even with Jill being from Philly, and before I even found out that she's submitting before the damn fight even started, I was still gonna have to go with Erykah Badu, just because same thing everybody else said. I think that Erykah has anthems. I don't know outside of Jill Scott, like A Long Walk. I don't know, and I mean of course Golden. But I feel like when you play Bag Lady, like the Chiba remix, like that's gonna. I feel like that's gonna shut it down when you play On and On. When you play Other Side of the Game, and God,
lifetime.
Next lifetime, and God forbid if it's the Howard University crowd and everybody got dreads,
and Sage,
the Sage, and people got candles going, and we already know Erica's gonna do that. Here's something I just realized today, and I think we have to stop doing this, people, because it's not fair. It's not fair that I realize this. Erykah Badu has how many children by how many rappers?
Here,
3 by 3. Yeah, 3 by 3.
Yep.
She has Andre 3000. She has DLC.
Yep.
Okay. And she only has 3 kids, or does she have more?
She got 3.
She got 3 kids. Okay. I feel like we would be slut shaming Cardi B right now if she had 3 different kids by 3 different baby fathers. We will be slut shaming.
No, not Cardi.
No, I'm just saying.
You kind of gotta have shame to be shamed.
Yeah, right.
But that don't mean they wouldn't try. That don't mean they wouldn't try.
No, but what I'm saying is, I was talking to my man today, and I was like, wait a second. If this was anybody else but Erykah Badu with her peacefulness vibe, niggas would be killing her. If Nicki Minaj had a baby by Jay-Z, Nas, and fucking Kendrick Lamar, niggas would be like, yo, this hoe, this stink-ass truck, this trick out here turning tricks, got 3 beta, got 3 niggas knocking her up. Erykah Badu does it, and his niggas are sitting around like genies, like, oh, it's so beautiful. Look at how the love just infatuates everyone. Look at how she raises her children with such peace and love in the clouds. No, like, why isn't she in trouble? Like, but why? Like, this is what I mean.
Because she vibrates on a higher frequency.
Exactly. Like, this is like, it's like dude and like Martin and fucking Boomerang like is racist, man, on our own people. Like, yo, why are we giving Badu? I had never heard one person say anything bad about her having 3 different rappers' babies ever.
I got an idea as to why that is. I think she doesn't. The kids are not out there. That's one thing. Like they're not out there in the public eye. Like she don't pimp her kids.
Okay.
And for 2, like she works. Like she's taking a back seat to music to raise her kids. So it's not like she out here just fucking niggas for free just to fuck them. And like she's in relationship with these guys, and it just so happens that she ends up having kids with them.
Question.
And she's a nigga.
Yeah, she's a nigga. She's jealous.
Yeah. We always used to talk about this in high school. Are you a hoe? If you are with the people.
That's why I started laughing.
Because I had a lot of homegirls would be like, well, Killer, I ain't no hoe. I mean, I did sleep with 10 niggas, but I was in relationships with all 10 within 10 months. And I'm like, well, nigga, that's a nigga month. So is it I can do the math. Like, if you give me simple math, like 10 niggas, 10 months, good. Now, when you start getting, you know, I've had 24 people in 36 months. Now I get off, but you tell me 10%. I'm with you. Now, that's one nigga every month. Like, that. So is it because you're in relationship? And then she was like banging Common too. Like, yo, like she has like ran through the neo soul. Like she's run through the crew. Like, and anybody else we would be like, oh. But with Erykah Badu is like queen. Is it the head wrap? Is it the
way she carries herself?
It's the right.
She just carries herself respectfully.
Yes.
She demands respect and she gets that respect.
Yeah.
And she's never been disrespectful out. So she's never told someone, oh, you're a hoe, so that anyone can turn around and be like, wait a minute, but you did this. Like she's never talked sideways about other people. So she's a very respectful lady.
She get it.
I need you all to reach out to Erykah Badu because I need her to come teach a class. I need her to come teach a class on how to carry yourself.
Yes.
And a standard.
Erykah Badu has always carried herself that way since the beginning, and that's something that I think.
Albums, that's it.
What?
I said just her albums, and you know.
No, I feel y'all. I just feel like it's. I feel like we're tricked. It's tricknology, y'all. Forget it. It's tricknology. I feel like it's tricknology.
And then I'm gonna just throw this caveat too.
Can I say this real quick, bro?
Yeah,
I feel like if you got a natural and not a perm, you get more leeway. You shaking your head. I swear for God. You will be, yo, let a dude come up. It's like 3,000 set. Is everybody with dreads for the cause? And I love that line because if you see a person with locks, I know most people will look at this person like, oh, this person is a good guy. He has dreadlocks. I've seen this shit happen. And I'm like, no, this nigga will rob you. See, it's different in DC. Everybody got dreads out there in the DMV. So please don't ever, because anybody watching, you come to the DMV, the dread niggas will rob you. But in another place, like back in South Street, like in Philly in like 96, if you had locks and you were almost walking on, you was like Prince Hakeem. Or what's his name? Not Prince Hakeem, Prince Hakeem. Prince Hakeem. You were Prince Hakeem. You were walking on roses. But say what you want, JR.
No, I said no. I'm not.
I think Vern was trying to say something.
I got nothing with this.
My personal opinion: cats in the music industry and athletes are different. They don't follow the rules that we follow. If I was in high school and we was all boys, and I messed with somebody, you didn't mess with them,
right?
But they, man.
Celebrities are not normal. They're not normal.
Yeah.
It's
you become a celebrity and normality and things that it's just out. Like it's just
like that Lori Harvey chick or whatever her name is.
She wanted to father and son,
father and son. Yeah. The Kardashians. So they a whole different species.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. But I do believe we're gonna do a test, y'all. I can't wait till we blow up and we get an apartment 5B budget because we're gonna have some fun, y'all. This is gonna be like the Chappelle Show Part 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna put some chick in some dread weave, and we gonna have her do some stuff,
down
and
the
have the
streets,
girl, and then I'm telling y'all, we gonna have some fun when we get us a budget, because I'm telling you, there are gonna be different outcomes. Because if Drea from Basketball Wives had dreads and had an afro, I'm telling you, it's something about. I'm telling y'all. Watch, y'all gonna do it. Watch, y'all gonna run across somebody with a natural, and watch. You gonna not even know when y'all gonna do it. Watch, y'all gonna do it. Y'all gonna
no, I'm with you, and I'll say this without saying too much. You know, we hung with Rest Developing and that crew. I'll wait till we get off camera. No,
right.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's there's a perception that comes with it. When you see Tribe Called Quest, you don't think they gonna fight nobody. You invite Q-Tip to your house tomorrow, and you don't even know him. But nigga dressed like this, he look homeless. Come on in, you know what I mean? But if the nigga look like Prodigy with an army fatigue jacket on, with a Heineken, you gonna be like, no, clutch my pearl. So again, it's the same stereotypes that we have against black men. That if a black man looks like, but you laughing at, right?
I'm slapping.
Because you know it's true. Because you see it.
Dude, I see it every day. I deal with it every day. I'm in uniform half the day, and when I'm not in uniform, the same motherfuckers who would covet and oh, thank you for your service. When I'm out of uniform and I'm in a hoodie and J's, and
you a 6'5" dude. Yeah.
So trust me, that's why I'm laughing, because I've asked people that, like, okay, so right now, today, I'm cool, but in an hour, when I change my clothes, how do you see me? And they just look at me like I'm fucking crazy, because they don't understand the idea of what I'm asking them. So that's why I'm laughing, because I'm like, I live with that shit every day.
Trust me, if Erykah Badu looked like Drea, people would be talking shit about her. Because Drea don't talk shit about nobody.
And she gets
people love people talking shit. I mean, she gets slaughtered on the TL. Hell, they was slaughtering damn Steph Curry's wife the other. Steph Curry's wife. How you slandering Aisha? This shit ain't doing nothing.
Man, that'd be jealousy, dog.
That is, yeah.
Steph Curry and Aisha get so much hate because they light skinned, they come from good families, they're Christian, and people hate that.
Yeah. Right. But this is what I mean by, I'm just giving an example of how even without that, one of my friends was like, I don't like Steph Curry. He was like, why? He was like, his fucking family be all up in the stands rooting for him. I'm like, God.
Yep. His mom and dad stayed together.
He's never been hugged, has he?
Word is born in Jesus. That nigga said because his family be up in the stands rooting for him. Like, that's why you don't like him?
Poor guy, man. He has a supportive family, and this
that nigga.
Man, people be triggered, bro. You see it all the time on the TL. Yeah. I mean, Kill, if you talk about my man Vita Esquire, he loves his wife. He's been with her since they've been dating since middle school, and he talks about how he adores his wife. And niggas be coming at his head, be women who would mainly be, you a simp, you this, you that. Like, word? People hate what they can't get or what they can't, they can't live.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely crazy. All right, cool. So we got Erykah coming out with the chip because Jill basically gave up already. So that's cool. JR, give them all the information, good brother.
Check me out, Dreams World of Soul. Check me. I do current R&B bangers every week. I do keep the conversation going. I pick a topic and I talk about it mainly for R&B. So check me out on Instagram, on Twitter. It's Music Soul Nick with a Q, and yeah, that's it.
All right, Vern, give him everything, good brother.
All right, on Twitter, I'm Myron's #1 fan.
Y'all.
Oh man!
No, you could have had on that episode with you, Kill. I'd have had
V Chandler 10 on Twitter, at V the Lone Clothes on Instagram.
Man, that's Myron
gonna get some sales, man. We gonna see too.
It's a good album too.
JR, thank you, man. It's a good album. The song with Cinderella.
That was terrible. Don't worry about it, Kill. It was a good album.
Yeah.
Yo,
she couldn't get salt or pepper, but she got Cinderella.
The worst part to this, the worst part about the whole Myron situation is in all the years of me playing this album, it's not until Eddie decides to say, he couldn't get salt or pepper, and he got Spinderella. I had never thought for fucking 25 years.
Oh, shit.
Why is Spinderella on here until good old Eddie over here decides to say he couldn't afford salt or pepper? Like, hey, Salt, do you want to get on? Nah, I'm good. Pepper, what about you? Nah, Spin. Sure, fuck it, I'll get on. You know. So thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that.
A&R said, "Yo, Myron, we got one of the biggest girl groups of all time. It's gonna be on your album." Oh, you mean Salt? No, not quite. Pepper, you getting warmer.
Like you said, Kill. Primo was going down, so they just had him do his
Well, y'all talking about hip hop when you brought this up?
We were talking about.
I think we were talking about slept on albums.
Albums or something along that timeline.
Something like that.
It was slept on the album, but as soon as I pulled the cover
And that was
out,
his last one, right?
here come Rec with the light skinned niggas in quarantine. And Word like who is Byron? Then Eddie comes in with the what was the old girl Tiana Taylor? Byron. And it was like, so it was
That was a legendary night, man.
It was like the perfect storm to just kill. It was like the perfect assassination plot, and everything just connected perfectly for it. And yeah, Eddie, give them all the information, good brother.
Oh man, I'm on Twitter at EddieD80, on Instagram at Eddie Gasso.
All right, Porsche.
Twitter is at Cherchez La Porsche.
Oh man.
All right, and DJ Rec One.
I won't be playing no Myron. The next mix music for my friends is JR's mix, man. It's R&B. It'll be out Saturday. Checking on Mixcloud, man. Twitter is at DJ Rec One. Instagram is at DJ Rec One.
Y'all go listen to it. Have y'all listened to it?
We can't find it.
Listen to it.
It's cool. I'm gonna listen to anything y'all recommend.
Listen to it.
It's on Spotify, Kill. Even though like 3 songs ain't there, but
now Vern listen to it. Vern listen to it. I mean,
look at
terrible, yo.
Yo, what's the album called? I'm trying to look for it.
It's called Destiny.
It's called Destiny.
Kill, you know what you're doing. That's why you're setting yourself up for failure.
The album is on Spotify.
It's on
You
Spotify.
can find it on Spotify. Yes.
Yeah, the back cover looks a lot cooler. He's sitting on the bed.
I mean, this album cover is a piece of work. Let me tell you.
At least on the inside, he's sitting in the chair.
I feel like Cameron from Confessions of Fire is going to come into this frame here, but that's just me. I don't know.
It's cool, JR. See, JR, what I'm trying to get people to see on Twitter, that it's okay to be made fun of. Like people on Twitter are so sensitive. It's like you make fun of them for something. It's like, yo, people make fun of me all the time for like a Chance the Rapper. And I take the jokes because they jokes, you know. But yes, Myron, it was a good album. Destiny, slept on. Y'all know what it is. Kill Apartment, 5B on Twitter, 889 on Instagram. We'll make beats for food. I will check y'all next week.
See ya, guys.
Peace.
And not talk about Myron anymore.